Salam alaikum and welcome back to the Ottoman campaign in Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts. It's now December 1933, a few months after the previous episode, but nothing really happened in between. As you can see, we now have a peace treaty with France. And as you can also see in the background, by the unrest level and the map of Africa, the army was very active in the last few months. So they gobbled up a bunch of land. Which is, of course, good, because that's land I don't have to pay for with the war reparations money. That's one of those battlecruisers with all the guns, but it's not really that interesting, I think. Maybe. We'll see. 20 billion is a lot of money. First things first, Panama, of course, is important. Let's go for the stuff around Panama. Where's Mexico? What else? Ecuador. And pick up some islands as well. Korea is cheap. Northeast Korea for only 114 million. Let's take that as well. And Guantanamo, I guess. And wherever this is. Right, let's see what we actually get. Did we get Panama? No. They kept Panama. That's the one important thing I wanted. They kept Panama. So instead, I got a patchwork of like Central American provinces. Right. Let's just okay, I guess I cannot end the alliance with United States right now, despite not really being at war with anyone. I guess that'll just have to happen next turn. Let's improve relations with Britain. They're not ready for another war. Let's give them a break. Now, I need to send some ships to port. Because having them all at sea is costing me a lot of money. And January of 1934 is an election month, so all that unrest just disappeared. That is very nice. Let's see, can I not break this alliance? Darn it, that's annoying. Let's see, more of my ships should have made it to port by now, so we can put the rest of them to limited. Minus 57 million, that is not too bad. Let's see, once Balıkesir is repaired next month, she and her sister will move down here to one of my museum ports. And they're gonna get decommissioned. My new light cruisers are ready. I did read some of your name suggestions, so I'm gonna have to sit down and rename all of these. The heavy cruisers as well. We got about 100,000 free shipbuilding capacity. My new battleships are, yeah, I'm gonna need like 150,000 tons of free capacity to start building 2 of these, and I want 2 of them. Alright, so we now have the shipbuilding capacity to start building 2 of the Sahitopu class battleships. Let's see, let's have them both built in Constantinople. Yeah. Sure. These are all being commissioned. That's good. That leaves me with 90,000 tons of free capacity. Let's see, we're getting the, where are they? The Mark 513 in almost 2 years. That'll be useful. We got the Mark 5 9-inch gun. So we can give the, where are they? Rivalry class heavy cruisers. I only have 4 of them. Apparently. And they've never been given a refit? Well, it's about time then. Because these have been pretty good ships for me. Let's see. We already saved some weight just by passive technologies being applied. We're gonna keep the 28 knot top speed? I think so. We're gonna keep the normal geared turbines. Diesel is cheaper. Not much heavier. Like so, and these are now Mark 5. These are now Mark 5. I don't hate the look. Making sure they still work. Good thing I checked. Otherwise, the A turret would not be working. How about you? You do work. You needed that barbette moved just a smidge. Oh, come on. Yeah, it works. Good. 3.9s have not been changed, so they should still work. .9 on the third inner belt. There we go, being overweight. There you go, being more overweight. I guess that's decent-ish. Oh, and of course. The radar. Come on, why does that slider have to be like behind the thing? Behind the button. There we go. Only 2% overweight. Not that bad, really. The range is plenty good, so we can reduce that. That's still decent operational range. How's my flash fire chance? 0. 0.2. 0.2 is good enough. I'd like semi-auto reloading though. We're gonna add some more weight that way. What more can be done to save weight? Okay. Auxiliary 4 is lighter in this case. I could slim it up, I guess. I could also remove some of these secondaries, but that's gonna make the the refit time longer, which is not cool. What kind of pen do I get out of these? Not too bad. Not for a cruiser. I could chew through some light cruisers, I guess. Very fit tower 3. That's what I've got. No new funnels available. Still no oil 3. That could potentially have saved a couple of tons. I mean, I got enough money. I don't have to care too much about maintenance cost. We can do that. And that. It's not that much more expensive than the diesels. That saved a bit of weight. Not a lot, but a little bit. How about I go with heavy shells? That is possible. 2.5 flash fire chance is not that bad, really. Yeah, we can do this. That's a decent boat. And with the radar and that kind of base tower spotting, I shouldn't have to worry too much about destroyers smoking up. Now let's see about the Scandinavian battlecruiser that we left like this because it was limited how far we could move the towers and the main guns without them being too far from the previous place. But I'm thinking, oh, you're just not gonna bring these along. Nice, thank you. There we go. Incremental refits. Guess we're just gonna have to put these back here. And of course now I can't place it down because these floating turrets are in the way. So I have to do that all over again. Ugh. That's like super annoying. That will not fit there. There's a bunch of funnels. I don't remember which one I had. I guess it was this. A bunch of funnels here that just don't fit. There we go. All the guns are back in place. Guess we can move the X turret forwards just a little bit. We're still on a an aft weight offset, but it's not too bad. There we go. 0.5 aft weight offset. That's basically nothing. And everything is as it should be on this. Yeah, it's a 3-month refit, but we kind of saved the design. It looked quite horrible before. Now it's somewhat passable. Yeah. Gonna save it like that. Alright. 4 of these. Uh, 35,000 tons free capacity. How much does these weigh? 32,000. Yeah, that should work. Just about. Nice. Very nice. So let me just clean up some of these unused refits. And it looks like we're gonna go to war with Britain again very, very soon. Because they just went to war with the United States, which is still our ally. And we can't break the alliance because the US is at war with so many others. Well, they only have 2 battleships, so it's not gonna be much of a war, really. By the way, how many are France building? They're building 28 ships. Alright. Their economy is collapsing. Because they're still at war with the US. And a few others. But also, we just got some new hulls. Again. Modern Heavy Cruiser 3. I wonder what you look like. And also, this just finished. And we're at the stage now where we can just keep expanding the shipyard without going deep into the red. Even with a maxed out tech budget. So, that's good. Can finally get some shipbuilding capacity going. So I guess we're going to take a look at that new cruiser hull. Or are we going to wait for the Mark V 10-inch guns? I can look at it now. That's not very interesting. It's just one of these very basic default hulls that I like to call them. With British battleship towers. Yeah, I'm not feeling it. Like, the stats are good, but compared to some of the ships we do have. By the way, did our Ivory class cruiser hull just go obsolete? I think it did. This is one of those that have to be fattened to work. Okay. I don't think we're gonna build a heavy cruiser today, but we got some new light cruiser hulls as well. 65 resistance on a light cruiser. That is pretty good. Enclass. Let's keep them small-ish. That's not good for the... I mean, the resistance scales with the displacement slider. If you got it maxed out, it's almost at 100. Before any upgrades are applied. But if you keep it small... I guess you can't make it that small. You get that target size modifier to enemy accuracy. You're gonna take fewer hits. Minus 33. Let's see what that ends up being with 125. That's minus 53. If it's minimum sized, it's minus 37. Let's try building it minimum sized. We can gain at least a little bit of benefit from enemy fire not being that accurate. And also, as a bonus, the ship is gonna be cheaper and easier to put in different ports. It's not that much of a big difference between the two towers, so I don't think I need to fatten it up. Ideally, I'd like to slim it down. I could get it down to less than 8,000 tons. That's probably good enough. Not really too impressed by the funnel selections here. If I put that there, and this there, and that there. That kind of looks okay. Right. Oh, you don't really slide into there, do you? Because it kind of looks like this bit here would slot into the corresponding bit on the funnel, but no. Oil 2. 165 million with diesel. 118 with gear turbines. But maintenance is about the same. $5,360. Yeah, auxiliary 4 is much lighter in this case. A big thank you to whoever tipped me off that that was the case. In many cases, that these are still Mark 4. I get them to Mark 5 in a couple months. If I'm gonna use Mark 4s, I might as well go 7s. How about triples? And then torpedoes on the stern. 20 kilometer. See, it's easy to get tricked here. You'd think this would work, but no. This works. Let's put that at an angle. See? If it's mounted straight, then it works. So I'm assuming that would still work in most cases. But you could get the odd case where maybe one torpedo launcher is destroyed and jammed at a certain angle, and then the other one will not be able to traverse. I guess that could happen, but I'm just hoping it won't. Now, will these fit? They will. Now the question is, will they fit if I make them 3.9s? I want the 7-inch guns to be 7.5s. 7.555s. These work. Just that one not wanting to work. I'll replace you with singles then. There we go. That works. A little bit of armor. And we do have some armor to start with in this case. Let's see, what's the flash fire chance now? 0.1. We up that to barbette 3, it's 0.0. Even with increased ammo. Semi-auto reloading. Let's go standard on both. Sonar 1. And of course radar, giving us a pretty good spotting range. This is becoming a very expensive light cruiser though. 331 million. 8.6 maintenance. It's not that much cheaper with gear turbines, or gear turbine 2s, or even 1s. Regular turbines, we're down to basically the same maintenance cost as with the diesels. But the ship itself is quite a bit cheaper, but not that much cheaper. And the operational range is worse. How about turbo electrics? That's quite a bit expensive. I think we're gonna go diesels here. Of course, with diesel 2, it's gonna be a little bit better in terms of engine weight and stuff, but yeah, it's fine, I guess. Now, armor. Got a lot of displacement left to play with. In fact, I think our deck armor is probably more than we need. Even knowing that deck penetrations will be making a comeback. .9 on the third inner belt. That's pretty decent. Let's turn down the main belt itself. 1.8, still pretty good. And there we have it. Is there anywhere I can fit these 2-inch guns? Yes. Of course, now overweight. If I go with twins instead. Twins and singles weigh the same. Twins can be fit in more places though. Now we're more overweight. Do they really weigh the same? They do. Well, kind of. The no, they don't weigh the same. It says 10 tons here, but if you hover over them, it's 1.1, 1.4. But the ammo weight is the same. That's weird. Shouldn't the ammo weigh more if it's you know, we got a lot more shots per gun. I'm assuming this number here is just incorrect, and it's another case of the game just flat out lying to you. Yeah, that's the Enclass light cruiser. I think it looks good, and it's really fast, and a little bit pricey, but I guess it's we're going into the late game now, so 300 million for a ship is not really that bad compared to many other things. Now, where is the DD-22? You definitely need a refit because you don't even have oxygen torpedoes. Right. Not that much we can do with the engines here. Not until we get gas turbines, I guess. We can upgrade the armor. I'm not sure if I want to upgrade the torpedo mark because that just makes the torpedo launchers much bigger, and I don't think that's a good idea. I'm gonna be getting sonar and a radar. We can see through enemy smoke screens. Main guns can get upmarked though. We can actually maybe maybe win some gunfights. Now, I think these should work because they did last I checked them. Or when I built them. Ah, they got this issue here. But that hasn't really like seemed like it's an issue when I've been using them. Presumably because all the launchers turn at the same time and then it's not a problem. But I guess it could be, potentially, if I said, if one of them gets jammed at a certain angle. Then everything is bad. I up the auxiliary engine. 2185. 2178. Yeah. Good. Better water pumping. So if they start taking flooding hits, they can actually keep going and sail away. Which is good, because it's an expensive boat. At 180 million. But they've... I only have 4 of these, and all 4 of them are still afloat, so... if it's not lost, it's not lost, and then it doesn't matter. Yeah, we are at the end of torpedo tech. Now it's just like a couple percent for each repeatable upgrade. And we're getting 1 in a month, though. Improved torpedoes. It's bad timing for that destroyer refit, I guess. But it's not a big difference. It doesn't matter that much. We're going to be doing the DD-10s and the torpedo boats, I guess, when we're closer to the next war. Just so they go into that war with the best technology available. So the destroyer refit like that is only going to take... like, this is a 1-month refit. And it's not that much tonnage. So might as well just wait until I need them. Yeah. So what else to refit? I guess the 16-inch armed super dreadnought. They're gonna be with me for a while. I got the Mark IV 16 now, and also the radar. So good things to add to a battleship. I was hoping we'd have a bunch of like new refit towers available for this hull, but apparently not. So it's just gonna keep the same towers it has, I guess. We're gonna be given it better armor, though. Auxiliary engines. And of course, Tube 3 and TNT 4. That brings our flash fire chance down to 1.8. We are running heavy shells, though. These are pretty good guns. Now, we're gonna need deck armor. Because the deck hits will be making a return. But what are we gonna sacrifice to make those to make up that difference? Because deck armor is heavy. We can go down to standard shells, I guess. That saves quite a few tons. And that will allow us to dump the barbette protection down to barbette 3. Maybe 2? 0.4 is good enough. That saved quite a bit of weight. .8 on the third inner deck. That is pretty good. That's very good. I can't even pen that at max range. There we go. Let's reduce that third inner deck down to 0.5, I guess. Do I have enough displacement for increased ammunition? Not really. Let's keep standard ammo. Yeah. We can up the shaft. There's a 4-month refit. That's not too bad, really. We're gonna keep the stereoscopic. Maybe. Well, the shell splash interference thing is pretty good, but you also get that from radar. And I know that late game you get so many things reducing that penalty that it just disappears altogether. But yeah. Well, the long range thing is fine, I guess. Let's save this design and move on to the next super dreadnought that is in need of a refit. It seems as if the Waterloff class super dreadnoughts have never ever received a refit. So they are really in need of one. Advanced Tower 4. Yeah, we can upgrade you a lot. Let's do the engines and the boilers first. We're already saving a lot of weight. And of course the armor quality and the citadel. That's a big one. And the tube powder. Let's go coincidence. 30-kilometer range at Mark III. .34-kilometer at Mark IV. Alright. Looks like they all still fit. Including you, right? Yeah. Right. Now to make that tower fit, I think we need to do some major rebuilding here. That's a pretty big upgrade though. 16 base, 30 long range. From 9.5 base and 20 long range. And much better tower spotting, and night vision spotting is actually the same. But the tower spotting is better. Right. Do we have new secondary towers as well? We got this thing. We'll see. Drop them both. Gonna have to do some work with the secondaries here. I can put these 6.1s back after we've made everything work. A lot of new funnels. 60 for that one. Not like the best funnel capacities though. It does fit though. That's an ugly tower. If I move this up a bit, that still works. You still work. This tiny one seems to work. Or it fits, at least. But, I'm not sure if if I'm vibing with this. Some of these funnels are pretty huge for how bad their funnel cap is. This one fits, but it's very short. Hmm. Do I just go for a single funnel on this? And this small rear tower here. I guess we can do that. Then move this back. Like so. And then move this back as well. Back to like where it was. And now we have a room here for some secondary stuff. That fits. How about the slightly bigger one? That also fits. But can I actually put a gun on it? Or a couple guns? No, it actually doesn't fit. It actually doesn't. How about I put you there? Ah, you're still red. Why are you red? Why can I not put you center line? That's weird. It like being red like that. That works. Couple pixels up. And it's only badly placed in some cases, so I don't think it's actually a big problem. So I wanted to have this like that way. Move this forwards again, just a couple inches. And then can I fit the taller one? Just not enough room. Like, it's gotta work here, right? Yeah, it's just, I don't get why that should be a problem. I don't think it is. There we go. Should that now be able to super fire over that one? I'm not sure. Let's find out. Looks like it works. Could even replace that one with a shorter one, I guess. I don't have a shorter one in the same style, so that'll just not happen. We had these things before I changed the tower. I guess they still work there. They're just slightly relocated. And there's not room for... they're going to be hanging off the side. It's kind of ugly. That's a lot of rear-facing secondary firepower. But that's decent. Can fend off some chasing destroyers, I guess. We're very close to the weight limit, though. Which is bad. Because I need deck armor. What can we do to... we can reduce the barbette. Still have 0% flash fire chance. So that's an option. We can definitely reduce the thickness of the citadel layers. 3 is still decent. It's very good, actually. Well, the turrets need some armor on the tops. There we go. That is overweight. And the casemates need armor on the tops as well. .4 on the third inner deck. .5. I'd say that's good enough, actually. It doesn't seem like much, but it's pretty decent. .3 flash fire chance. That's still... that's good. That's better than what it was before the refit. Advanced hydraulic turrets. I don't want to change that, because then I can't get it back, and everything else is going to be heavier. So... is there anything I can, like, reduce here to save save some weight? I mean, if we're gonna be relying on this, then the actual main belt itself doesn't really matter that much. I can be removing those barbette things and just place the turrets down here instead. It works just as well. And it brings us just under the weight limit. And the ship can be saved. That's a pretty nice increase in main gun firepower. We're going to be having a lot more range. A lot more accuracy, not just with the tower, but with the radar as well. And faster rate of fire. Safer. And more powerful. And all for pretty much the same cost as it was. I only have a single funnel now, though, but I'm not sure if that actually matters. Or if all my talk of having more than one for redundancy is just like nothing. If it's actually a thing that helps or not. I'm not sure. I haven't actually tested it, but it seems like it would be a good idea. But in this case, yeah, one is all I have. Unless I could fit 2 to this main tower. Because I thought it only had a single funnel slot, but that's a very long... let's try that before saving it. Let's try it. It only has a single funnel slot. Like, it's not possible to... even if it's wide enough for this double length funnel, you can't actually place down 2 single normal funnels. So that's what we have. Right. And I thought I would be getting a bunch of different super battleship hulls, but we seem to only get one command battleship 2. So I guess we're going to have to see in the future what kind of hull that is. It could just be a larger version of the command battleship we already have, which some of you wanted to see me build a ship on. I can still do that, but let's see if command battleship 2 is a better option once we get it. But that will be for a later time. Goodbye, and take care.